These families need to find shelter and take cover, okay? Because this drama is coming through like a tornado. First story, I ruined my mom's life and reputation. This story was posted 4 years ago. My 40 female parents, dad 63 male and mom 60 female, have been married for 43 years. I have been with my husband 39 male since we were 15. I got pregnant at 17 and we moved in with my parents. I gave birth to my now 22-year-old daughter. We got married at 18 shortly after. My dad's father passed away shortly after our wedding and left his ranch-style house to my father. My grandparents built a house next door to my parents when they retired. My parents decided to let us live in this house and told us this would be my inheritance. My husband and I had no issues with this. We went on to have a 20 male, 14 female, 5 female, and I'm currently 7 months pregnant with my last child, a boy, due in April. You got a whole gang over there. I thought I had a good marriage. We were intimate more than twice a week. We went on date nights. We bought each other gifts. We didn't fight. My entire world was shattered on New Year's Eve when I returned early from a girls' trip that I had taken with some friends. I walked into my bedroom to find my mom having sex with my husband. My mother screamed at me to get out of their bedroom, which really shook me up even more. Unfortunately, my oldest daughter was also home in her bedroom across the house getting ready for a party. She ran out and witnessed my all but a bedsheet naked mother run out of our house next door to her house and slam the door. My daughter was devastated and went to my sister's house. I asked her not to say anything until I talked to my husband first. He told me that my mom seduced him when we were 18 and living at their house. They had been having unprotected intimacy at least once a month for longer than we were married. I ran the math and I was horrified because the timeline meant my twin brothers and youngest brother could be my husband's. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. I immediately called my dad and told him to come to my house without my mom. I made my husband confess and my dad was devastated. He and my mom were high school sweethearts too. Needless to say, we could hear my mother screaming from her house when he confronted her. I then told my older sister and she and I decided to have her throw a party for the whole extended family and we invited my ex's family as well. At the party, I had my 22-year-old daughter take all the kids to our basement and put a movie on, leaving only the adult children and siblings, and I told them exactly what they had been doing. Most of the family is on my side, except my 3 youngest siblings. 38 female sister, my ex's entire family. They all say I'm an a-hole for dropping this publicly. Word got out and my mom's best friend, who is a leadership at my mom's church, called me to verify. My mom has since been let go as the child pastors there, and she claims I've essentially ruined her life and reputation. Or your own actions ruined your own life and reputation.
How about that?
My dad kicked her out and she is now living with my 38-year-old sister. And lastly, my dad insisted on a DNA test for the 3 youngest boys before he would consider anything to do with their marriage. The twins are my husband's bio children. This is twisted. Is this real? How is this real? This is insane.
This is madness. It's madness, I tell you, for the love of God!
I've since kicked him out and he's living with his parents. My father and I are discussing me moving into his much larger house and him selling my grandfather's house and giving me the money to buy a new house somewhere else to get rid of all these memories. My husband is appalled and furious that I proved he is actually about to have 7 kids instead of 5, and I'm going to be taking half of his business away from him. My husband started his own HVAC company a few years back, and for the first 5 years, I helped him get it set up, ran the office completely, and took time away from my teaching career to help him get this established. In my state, all marital assets, including businesses, are split 50-50. Since the house was still in my father's name, my husband will get no money from the sale, nor will my mother, since inherited assets are not subject to be split in divorces. My mother father is also likely to not get any alimony, as our state is not a no-fault divorce state. I'm now over a month removed, still extremely bitter and angry at my mother, especially at her hypocrisy of calling me a whore and shaming my family when she's done much worse. I also despise my ex with everything within me now, as he was screwing both my mom and me in some instances, coming to our bed minutes later. That makes me gag. Immediately nauseous. He got my mother pregnant less than a week after getting me pregnant, and while I thought it was so cute and fun that I shared a pregnancy experience with my mom, she was carrying my children's half-siblings. He has broken all trust I had in men and being faithful. I already have a good lawyer from the firm that has helped us in financial matters for both me and my dad is helping pay for it. My twin brothers, one of my sisters, and my entire ex's family have gone no contact with me and my minor children, and my children have essentially lost all of their grandparents but my dad, 2 uncles, an aunt on one of my sides, and my husband's 3 brothers due to this mess. I don't understand how anyone's on his side though. Even his own family. If I did this and went home, my family would look at me like, what? What? Are you about to congratulate me for my horrible decision making? What do you mean? I've also developed ulcers and digestive issues because of this, so I'm visiting a doctor soon, and I've been in therapy since the first week of January. I've offered this for my 2 adult children if they need family therapy with all of us, but they're doing individual therapy right now. My 14-year-old knows that we're getting divorced and why, and she's so angry at her dad that I struggle sending her to his house on the weekends. I feel like she's old enough to make a decision on that, but I don't want to damage her relationship with her dad. I've told all my kids it's okay to love their dad, even if he hurt me, but the oldest 2 have cut him off 100%. I won't tell my youngest 2 until they're teens why we got divorced, and everyone else has agreed to not spill anything until they're old enough to understand. As for how I had no idea this affair was ongoing, my husband confirmed to me that they would have intimacy at my mom's office at church. Oh my God, in the holy place. Oh, you better have prayed after. In their cars, at a motel, and when we built the business, they started having it routinely in his office. Once I went back to teaching. Thank you for the list of places. They also had it in our houses as well when my father would go away on business trips or I would be out of town. It was pure coincidence that I came home a day early from a trip because I was uncomfortable from being nearly 7 months pregnant and I just wanted my own bed for me to find out. Knowing they'd been carrying on this full-blown affair still if I hadn't caught them is why I'm still very upset about it. The fact that the grandmother and father of my children cared so little about destroying our families is what I can't get past. What's hardest for me is that my own mother would do this to me and would continue to do this for me for years and not caring when it all blew up in her face that she would be destroying her entire family. Edit. Also, to add insult to injury, my husband confirmed in one of our mediated conversations the affair started when I apparently made him angry. He didn't tell me and instead vented to my mom when they were alone. She comforted him and they ended up getting intimate. He loved it and then pursued her after that. He said he would have divorced me, but knew he would get cut off from her, and said that she was much better at intimacy than I was. So he just stuck it out with me. He told me I was a placeholder of all the betrayal and low blows. That statement is what keeps me up at night. This entire situation would keep me up at night. It actually makes me nauseous to think about someone having to actually go through that with their mother and their husband and their family. What a twisted, insane thing. We have our first update. I tried hard to go the route of mediated divorce, but my ex told me yesterday through his lawyers that he doesn't believe that the baby I'm carrying is his and now wants a DNA test as soon as he's born because he doesn't want to support a child that isn't his. He also believes I routinely cheated on him through our marriage and that I knew about his ongoing affair and I used that as my excuse to have my own affairs. None of that is true, but I kind of wish it was because it would make this divorce easier. My lawyer basically told me to get ready for a long, drawn-out, brutal, contested divorce and that my ex is likely going to try every underhanded tactic in the book to make my life even more miserable. Because he hasn't done enough already, right? know. Just keep adding more to it, honestly. Next update. Answering some questions and giving an update. Number 1. My twin brothers look like my egg donor side of the family. They look very close to my uncle and grandmother. They clearly don't look like my dad at all, but they also don't resemble my husband much either. My son looks like my soon-to-be ex, and he's the only child that you can visibly tell is his kid, although my 14-year-old daughter has his nose and jaw shape. Number 2, I was definitely enraged the day that everything went down, but my dad talked me off a ledge and reminded me that I needed to think of my baby and my other kids before I do something that would remove both of their parents from their lives. That is what spared them. I still lived in a rage fog for the next few days, which is what led to the revenge party. I only regret not telling my brothers privately that my egg donor had been cheating. Number 3, I honestly don't know all the reasons of why my 38-year-old sister's on my egg donor side. She doesn't get along with me or my sisters and hasn't since high school. I'm not that worried about her. Okay, insane. My twin brothers are upset that I sprung the news publicly. That is what my dad has gotten out of them. They are also in therapy, and my dad has told me to just give them time. He thinks it's just them killing the messenger. I did not tell them the possibility that my ex was their dad, but they can do math and figure out that they're the same age as my son, and he's younger than the length of the affair. My dad sat them down and explained his reasoning for the DNA test, and it was to prove cheating and not because he was going to abandon them. He is their dad regardless of whose sperm fertilized the egg. But technically he's not, and like his son-in-law is. Oh, so twisted. Number 5, I don't believe that my egg donor and soon-to-be ex waited until he was 18 to be intimate, but at this point I'm letting my dad fight that fight and letting him do what he needs to do when dealing with that and their divorce. It just keeps getting worse. Number 6, I have contingency plans ready to enact in the event they decide to move in together, but my lawyer doesn't believe my ex is stupid enough to do that with the divorce proceedings turning ugly. And number 7, I forgot to add this in earlier. My husband is 4 months younger than me. My birthday is in December and his is in April. He will be 40 soon. We were in the same graduating class all through school, from kindergarten through high school. He's not a full year younger than me, as others have speculated. For now, I am focusing on my pregnancy, my kids, and moving on. Thanks for letting this hormonal, sad, ragey, bitter woman vent and get this off her chest. You vent all you need to vent, okay? I have no words that would help a situation like this. It's far too bad. There's no coming back from this other than to somehow try to possibly move on. Insane. Next story. Am I the a-hole for installing a camera in my room to see if my mom is lying? This story came April 15th, 2026. I, 19 male, and my mom, 49 female, have had numerous fights the past few weeks, most of which are on the same topic. That being her going into my room and looking around without me knowing. Basically, every time I would leave the house for work or anything else, I would always leave my door fully closed, but would come back with it open. Also, I would be incredibly positive that certain things had been moved around or just straight up gone. So naturally, I asked my mom if she had gone into my room. She would always say no. Now, maybe the first couple of times I could play it off that I forgot to close my bedroom door, but once it started happening multiple times a week, I knew that wasn't the case. So yesterday, I went out and bought one of those Bluetooth surveillance cameras. At this point, I was positive she was going in my room behind my back and then lying about it. I just wanted proof because I knew this would just continue happening otherwise. This morning, before I left for work, I made sure the camera was working, closed my bedroom door completely, then headed out. At around midday, I got a notification on my phone that the camera had detected some motion. So I pulled it up to view the recording. Wouldn't you know it, there was my mom going through my drawers, closet, desk. She was even grabbing certain things and tossing them out into the hallway. I closed the video feed, seething, making sure I saved it first, and planned to confront her first thing when I was done my shift. When I got home, I immediately asked her if she had gone into my room. She responded no. I responded by pulling out the video and holding my phone in front of me so she could see it. Instead of apologizing, she exploded. She screamed at me for installing a camera in her house without her permission. I responded by demanding an explanation for her going into my room. She insisted that she had the right as my mother. She began questioning certain things in my room, to which I said it's none of her business. At this point, I was done. I stormed off and and I went to my room. Within the hour, my phone started blowing up with messages from family, all siding with my mom, telling me I'm insane for putting up a camera. I kid you not, the entire family is on my mom's side, except for dad. Unfortunately, my dad can't stop this himself as my parents split up a year ago and he isn't allowed in my mom's house. I swear I've done nothing wrong here. Like it's my only space in the house where I keep my things, relax, and just do my own thing. Or am I just being completely out of my mind? Am I the a-hole? Oh, parents, I need you in here. I need perspectives. Is that an invasion of privacy? Or if they're 19 years old and they live at home, is it your right to say, this is my home and I make the rules and I'm gonna go in your room and snoop?
My house, my rules.
Obviously, I don't want that. No kid, no teenager, no young adult, technically an adult, wants their parents snooping through their room. I feel like by lying about it and doing it, it's only gonna cause more damage in your relationship, if that makes sense. From my perspective, but I'm not a parent. You guys let me know. How do you feel about this? All right, the next update. Over the course of the week, I'm going to start moving things to my dad's place. I'm also not telling my mom about it until everything is gone. I did what many of you suggested, and I checked my credit to make sure no money was magically disappearing. I'm pleased to see that nothing was gone, but that still did not stop me from locking it. As far as I know, she doesn't have any information on it, as the pay stubs don't actually have my card number or information from my account, just the money I was paid over a certain period. Final update, almost a month later. At my dad's, y'all. I actually moved a week ago. My mom has tried to call me around 3 times a day, but I always decline the calls. I'm positive she will try to play the victim and blame me somehow. But yeah, I feel much better at my dad's. My dad's actually has a lock on the door, so I don't even need to worry about privacy. Not saying I don't trust my dad, because I absolutely do. See, that's what I'm saying. That's happened, and then your kid is going to you and saying, okay, I want to go live with dad. Bye. I'm an adult. I can. I'm off to go live with dad, and now I'm ignoring your calls because you invaded my privacy and lied about it. I just feel like that's going to do more damage than just trying to trust your child or be transparent and have that boundary set. I don't know. I'm not a parent. And this is why I don't want to be. Oh God, it must be so hard raising children. All my credit to you guys. We've got more drama, but first, I need a sip of water. It's hydration station. Drink your water today, okay? Cheers. Look how close I am to finishing. Wow, just a little sliver. I love Frida. Every time I feel like I can guess how the mystery is going to end, who did it, what happened, I'm so wrong. Every time. I can't guess. I really thought I had it. Not at all. Can't recommend her books enough, but we're almost there. Don't tell me anything. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister to stay home from a trip that she is paying for? This story came May 11th, 2026. A bit of background. I, 33 female, have 2 older sisters, Lucy, 44, and Mira, 43. Mira is a cancer survivor. Mira has never gone on a trip outside of the US, and she has recently hit a big milestone. 5 years in remission. Yay! Oh, that makes me happy. Lucy and I decided that in celebration, we wanted to take Mira on her first international trip. I want to be clear that I do love Lucy a lot. She really is a sweet person. When Mira was going through treatment, she helped pay some of her medical bills, watched the kids so her husband could always be at the hospital with her when she was there and be able to take care of her. She bought groceries for her neighbor for a year during the pandemic, and if you need someone, she's always there. However, she is a horrible travel companion. She wants to be in charge and complains about everything. We went on one trip together and it was miserable. The problem started when deciding where to go. Lucy suggested a trip to the UK or Ireland, which she and I have been to before. I pointed out that while it was a nice place to visit and Mira would appreciate it, we should go to Thailand and let Mira plan the trip instead. And here's why. Mira has always wanted to go to Thailand, like since before she even graduated from high school. She has an entire Pinterest board labeled Thai Dream Vacation. She has learned Thai over the years in preparation. She isn't fluent as a native speaker, but is conversationally fluent. She and her husband were planning on going 8 years ago, but then she was diagnosed with cancer, and medical bills pretty much depleted the vacation fund pretty quick. Mira wants to go to Thailand, and this is a trip for her. I had to put my foot down as this is Mira's trip. Since then, Lucy has brought up multiple issues. Mira planned the whole trip. It's very very food-based. A lot of it centers around trying all the food, taking cooking classes in the different regions, shopping, temple tours, beach days. But Lucy feels that because the two of us are paying for it, we should be the ones planning it. Lucy wanted to have an Elephant Day experience and wasn't happy that the one Mira picked was a sanctuary that did not do feeding, bathing, and physical interaction with the elephants. Mira planned a spa day in each area we travel, and Lucy thinks this is a massive waste of time and money. Lucy hates hot weather. She's already complaining about how hot it is going to be. Lucy's upset that so much of the food budget is being spent on street food, markets, local restaurants. I sat her down the other day and I asked her if she was just going because she felt obligated. I said that if she wanted to stay home, she could, and we would totally understand it. But this was M's trip, and if she was going to go, she needed to stop complaining about everything because I was not going to let her ruin the trip for Mira. Mira feels bad and has offered to change the itinerary and let her be in charge for half of the trip. So, am I the a-hole for setting Lucy off by telling her to stay home? Edit, I was unclear. Lucy is not paying for the whole trip. She is paying for half of Mira's part of the trip and her own part. We do not expect her to pay anything if she doesn't go, and I never suggested it. Oh, I thought you meant like she had to still pay, but just not go on the trip. I was like, let's talk about that. We have an update and it came 2 days later. Okay, so some clarification before the update. Yes, Lucy was paying for herself and part of Mira's portion of the trip, but I never asked or expected her to pay if she did not go. I wasn't disinviting her with the expectation of her still funding the trip. I was suggesting that if she didn't really want to go, she shouldn't because it wouldn't be fair for her or Mira. We are going to be there for 3 weeks. 1 massage a week at the hotel the day before we traveled to the next location hardly seems that excessive. Lucy did help in planning, like picking hotels and activities. Her complaints were about not wanting to do what Mira and I wanted to do because she wanted us to stay together for the whole time. Ethical elephant sanctuaries mean that you do not touch or interact with the elephants. Mira found one where you could observe only. Lucy was not happy because she wanted to bathe with the elephants. That was never going to happen. Now on to the update. Lucy and I met for lunch today and I apologized for how I handled things and being so, this is Mira's trip and she gets to decide only, and if you don't like it, stay home. Yes, I was the a-hole. We had a pretty big conversation about the whole situation. That included opening up about what we both thought this trip was for, celebrating with Mira versus a sister's trip, and decided that Lucy is not going on the trip and neither am I. Oh, this dream vacation was supposed to be for Mira to celebrate her recovery and give her the trip she lost because of cancer. And that trip was with her husband. So we are giving her and her hubs their 3-week Thai dream, and while they are gone, we will be taking care of the nibblings. And I can say that I'm really grateful for Lucy in this situation. She is famously the most fun aunt ever. I have no idea what to do with 4 teenagers for 3 weeks other than feed them. Long story short, the 3 of us are sisters. We love each other. Lucy and I haven't really ever opened up about how watching our sister go through something like that might have affected us, and we were both trying in our own way to show her how much we loved her, but we just went about it in the wrong way. This is such a cute, happy ending. It's gonna be a little teary-eyed. Very teary-eyed. That makes me so happy. She gets her trip. You guys are sending them off. You're watching the children. It's just a beautiful, happy ending. The tornado came through, but it did not destroy and break this family. And we love that. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. You know the drill. I will see you tomorrow.